This is Kurt Anderson, and I'm talking to a guy who calls himself Mr. Media, but he won't tell me his first name.
Today on Mr. Media, I'll talk to JJ Ramberg, host of MSNBC's Sunday morning show, Your Business. She's just published a terrific new book packed with advice from the show and her own company, goodsearch.com. It's called Your Business, 183 Essential Tips that will transform your small business. Stick around. And how about this as tip number 184? Use less words. Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of small business owners who hope JJ Ramberg will one day immortalize one of their great ideas on her TV show in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. I write business books for a living, and certainly I hope that if you're an entrepreneur, manager, or rising executive, you've found some value in Fans Not Customers, Built from Scratch, The Profit Zone, or Mean Business. But if you want to skip to the raw meat, I always recommend Guy Kawasaki's Reality Check as a must-read. And today I'm adding a second title to that list, JJ Ramberg's It's Your Business, 183 Essential Tips that will transform your small business. As the host of MSNBC's useful, fast-moving Sunday morning business show, Your Business, JJ and the show's staff have interviewed hundreds of entrepreneurs. They've collected the essence of their best tips and ideas in this new book, which is as fast and breezy a read as anyone in business could ask. The book, co-authored with the show's Lisa Everson and Frank Silverstein, is a rapid-fire series of 1- and 2-page directives that will make any business better. Read the book cover to cover or isolate a few tips at a time. Like Kawasaki's book, you'd be an idiot to pass up such low-hanging fruit. As for JJ, in addition to hosting her MSNBC show, she and her brother, Ken Ramberg, are the co-founders of goodsearch.com, a search engine that generates support for nonprofits. JJ Ramberg, welcome to Mr. Media.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Good to have you. JJ, before we get to the book, I have to ask, you and your brother, I guess, obviously own the domain, goodsearch.com, but I wonder, do you own godsearch.com? Because that's what I wound up typing when I went to look up Good Search this morning.
And I'm guessing you didn't end up at us.
I did not, but I'm hoping you own that site because I figured that's, it's like Goggle instead of Google, you want to own that.
Right. Yeah. No, good advice.
Do you own it?
I don't even know if we own it or not. I'm going to go on there right now, but
Okay, just curious. All right, so we'll come back to Good Search. I was really, I think it was obvious from the introduction, I was really very impressed by the nature of and the setup of It's Your Business. Because so many of these books, they meander and they just don't get to the point. But this is, you've got so much in here. I wonder, was there another book that you used as a model, or was it just something that presented itself as you went along and put it together?
I've been hosting this show for about 6.5 years, and I started it right after I founded my own company. And I found that when I was out there interviewing people, they often said one thing that I thought, that's so smart, I have to go try that at Good Search. And look, I had 3 kids in 2.5 years and had this show and had a company. I was really busy, and I am sort of the mind of, if something is important, and you said use less words, if you can tell it to me in a paragraph and I can get the gist of it, perfect. I don't need to read the novel. So this book then is just a compilation of those really tactical, fast, practical things that you can do that I tried in my company to make things work better.
Yeah, I liked it. I look at books like this sometimes. I think of my brother, who I'll probably mention a little later, but he's got he runs a one-man show. It's a DJ service in South Jersey. He's not big on reading books. He's just not. And I look at this and I go, okay, this is something, and I'm going to give him my copy, when we're done. and I'm just going to say to him, you need to look at this. You don't have to read, you know, you don't have to read it cover to cover at the moment. And I think you actually say this in the introduction. Just skip around, look for the topics that appeal to you, and start with the easy stuff. But
Yeah, exactly. It's not meant really to be read cover to cover. What we did is Lisa, Frank, and I compiled these 183 tips that we loved, and then frankly, once we had all the tips, we figured out how to organize them. But our real quest was find the best tips.
well, and I want to ask you. I actually read the book cover to cover. Silly me. But I dog-eared a lot of pages, and I selected a couple of the tips that I want to ask you about in particular. Maybe
Oh, great.
we can give people kind of a sampling of what's in there, and then hopefully by the time we're done, they'll go out and buy 10 copies.
Perfect.
All right. So tip number 6.
I have mine here, so I can look.
All right, you can. And
For the ones
I'll
I don't
read you
know
the
by
tip.
heart.
Tip number 6 was borrow through peer-to-peer lending. There's a lot of businesses had trouble borrowing in the last couple of years, and there's crowdsourcing, things like that. What is peer-to-peer lending? That was actually something new to me.
So it's basically crowdfunding. So you're probably familiar with Kickstarter, crowdsourcing money, crowdfunding, where people can give you money and then in return you put their name on the credits or something for your documentary or give them one of your products. Crowd lending is where you actually put a request for a loan up there. So I'm looking for $10,000 to refurbish one part of my business. And people can go on and look and say, okay, I'm going to give you $1,000. And someone else says, I'm going to loan you $50. Someone else says, I'm going to loan you $2,000. You pay them back interest, so they're doing this as an investment, but you get your loan. So unlike at a bank where you have to go in and get one person or a group of people to approve the whole loan, here you just need a lot of people to give you a little bit of money.
And I think you make the point in there that it seemed like the essence of it was for peer-to-peer lending, tell a good story. That's what's going to be convincing.
Exactly, because you're going out to the crowd. They're going to have to like you. A, they have to know you're going to pay them back, and B, they're looking at lots of requests. So the more you can make it personal, I'm going to pay you back, but also this is why you're doing something good, the more chances you will to get your loan filled.
I think the example that was used in there was a guy who had a car wash, right? And he had this idea, I thought it was brilliant actually, that he should add a line where he could do dog washes. And I thought, what a great idea. You've got the water, you've got the people who are good at cleaning stuff like that. It just seemed like a great idea. And it's amazing that he couldn't get standard funding, though.
He couldn't. Bubbles Galore is the name of the company. And look, there are a lot of companies recently who have gone back to their banks that they've been working with for a long time to get another loan to do something, and they just haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, it was a really good tip. There's a lot of good tips. I tried to hone in here in the couple that we'll talk about on things that I thought, okay, that's a little different. I like that. This one, number 40, was improve self-confidence by standing differently. And I was
This
thinking,
is one of my favorites.
didn't you just do a report just in the last couple of weeks on the TV show? Something similar to that?
We did. We actually did this maybe a couple of years ago, and we just re-aired it. It's one of my favorites. This was a study done by Amy Cuddy, who teaches at Harvard Business School. And basically what she says is if you stand in different positions, testosterone is released into your body for both men and women, and that makes you more confident. So if I can sort of show you one of them, if you kind of put your arms out and, you can't see now, but like your legs out like that wide. The screen is too small, but basically take up a lot of space.
Okay.
That's one of the positions. Also, if you sit arms behind your head, legs crossed on the desk, CEO style, that's another position. I will let you know I was absolutely skeptical when we went in to go interview. It sounds really silly, right? But it works, and it's biologically proven to work. And so if you're feeling a little bit nervous about something, going into a meeting a potential partner, it's worth just taking the time to try it.
It's funny. I saw that on the show a couple weeks ago, and I thought I got to find a way to bring this up. I've got a teen daughter, and I wanted to. It's something I've been thinking about. How can I, constructively suggest this to her? Because I think she hunches a lot, and I think it's what you say. It's kind of like it shows sometimes a lack of confidence, and I thought somehow I got to get this in front of her.
Amy Cuddy does a TED Talk, which I have not seen yet, but maybe you should show it to your daughter.
Good idea. I'll do that. I'll go look that up. All right, good. Okay, this one, number 124, the most obvious one in the world. Answer the phone. And I'm sorry, I think you left a word out. I think it should be answer the damn phone.
Oh, I know. I know, because it is so annoying if you're calling a company. One of the great things about working with a small business is their availability. So unlike a big company where you expect to get into a phone tree and not be able to find someone, if you're working with a small business, one of, again, as I said, the benefits is the personal attention. So answer the phone. And what I say in here is if you can't hire a receptionist, which many small businesses can't, make everyone empowered to answer the phone.
I had an example of this, and it was a big business. Just last week, I was at a hotel. I won't mention the name, but it starts with an R and ends with an N. And I got there late, and it was election night, and I just wanted room service. I just wanted a chicken sandwich, and I called, and I got voicemail, and I thought, okay, it's a busy night. I'm in town. There's a kids sports conference in town. It's election night. They're busy. I'll leave a message. I just asked them to call me back and confirm that they got the message. Never called back. Never called back. And so I went downstairs thinking maybe they were closed or they're busy, and I asked at the desk about it, and they said they don't answer. They didn't answer the phone. I said no. I said I got their voicemail. I said, do they check that? And she said no, probably not. I said, all right. So 3 days later, I get a thing in the mail from the company, one of these automated things. Please rate your stay at our hotel. And so I said, nice hotel. I said, room service should not have an answering machine. Somebody should be there to answer the phone. I said, and if they're not going to answer the phone, they should at least return their messages. So I got a note from the general manager the next day saying, that's a really good point. And I thought, really, this international company doesn't know to answer their own phone. I just thought, And I was polite. That's the other thing. I mean, I'm very polite about it. I wasn't like yelling and screaming. Some people are, but answer the phone. And the other thing on that is not just answer the phone. If you have a website and you have a button that says contact us or send us respond to your customers when they send you an email.
Absolutely. And I think if you can't get to that right away too, have an automatic response that says we get back to you within whatever amount of time is doable for you. 3 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is, manage expectations.
Yeah. If somebody contacts you via phone or email and they're upset about something, not responding to them is not going to make it better.
And what is really incredible is often responding to them. I mean, we say mended fences are better than those never broken. Oftentimes people are so irate about something. You talk to them and they say, oh, that's okay. Thanks so much for calling me back. Just want to be listened to. Want to make sure that their voice is heard.
I completely agree with that. Okay, one more tip, and then we won't give away anything else for free here. Tip number 155 was find new leads in your old contacts. And this is the one I was thinking of my brother, because the DJ company, I keep telling him there is gold in them. They're satisfied customers. You got to go back to them and encourage them to tell their friends. And a year after they get married, congratulate them on their anniversary and ask them to share your information.
That one actually reminds me of another tip in this book about it's a little bit different, but it's never take no. It's turning no into yes. So basically, the story was this woman who plans parties, and she talked to a woman who wanted to plan a princess party for her daughter, and the potential client, eventually ended up saying, you know what, I'm just going to do this by myself. Well, just a week or so later, the party planner sent her an email saying, hey, hope everything's going well. I just wanted to let you know I was doing some research. I found this princess bouncy house. It's pretty cheap. I wanted to send it on to you. It seems perfect for your party. And that woman wrote her back and said, you know what? Thank you so much. I'd actually love to hire you. But that reminds me of what you're talking about with your brother. If you send, just keep in contact. Not a hard sell, actually not a sell at all, but just keeping in contact with people so that you're top of mind, so that they remember if something goes wrong with the person they hired, or a year later, if someone asks, do you know a good DJ or a party planner, they remember you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to share this with him. So he doesn't hear it coming from his brother. It's like my daughter hearing something from Dad. It's like my brother hearing something from me. Why 183 tips? How did you land on that number?
I know. I wish I had a good answer for this. We culled through, thousands of ideas that the three of us had, and we landed on 183. The only thing we knew we had to do was land on an odd number, because one of our tips is always use an odd number.
As you said that, I remembered that was in the book. Yeah.
Yes, weirdly, tip number 100.
Really, you remember that tip number?
I do, because it makes no sense.
Well, okay, yeah. What kind of things didn't make the cut?
The criteria was it had to be practical, actionable, work across industries and across geography, and you had to be able to open the book, read it, close the book, do it. So it's not inspirational. It's not this really big picture stuff. It's really actionable.
I think guys who own comic book stores could have stood the number 184, good hygiene. Sorry, I don't know why I pick on them. What about this? What are some of the major tips in the book that grew out of your own experience with Good Search?
There are lots of them. There's one about prioritizing. So, and I can't remember the number offhand, but at Good Search, we are really sort of maniacal about prioritizing what comes next, because it's really easy to, you get into a room with your managers or your team, everyone has really amazing ideas. And when you talk about the energy line, this comes from Scott Belsky. If you talk about the energy line of where we should be putting our energy, well, I'm going to say we should put our energy here, and my brother, my co-founder here, and our CEO here, and you have to have really long, sometimes hard conversations about, okay, actually we need to put these in order to do a good job. We can't spend our energy on everything, or else nothing will get done.
I think I was just thinking, and I don't remember the number of this. One of the tips in the book has to do with trade places with one of your partners in terms of responsibility stuff. Was that from the Good Search experience, or was that from someone else?
It wasn't, actually. This comes from Ben Sen, a guy I actually went to business school with. It was such a neat idea, and it was basically, if you want to kind of revitalize things, re-energize things in your office, trade places with your partner. Chances are you know each other's job, relatively well. You're sitting next to them. See what they do. You have meetings, but trade places with them. That's an easy and cheap way to get new ideas.
Like that. Yeah, I thought that was
I do too. I love that one.
And besides that, you might also have a little more sympathy for why they do what they do.
Exactly. Sort of like undercover boss, undercover partner.
Yeah, that's not bad. You might have a little spin-off there, but they better sell it to NBC. Better do that before CBS hears it. And all right, so I want to talk to you about Good Search itself. I remember a few years ago getting a flyer from my daughter's school, encouraging us to start using this thing called goodsearch.com. It's a search engine, and if you use it and you're signed up through us, we'll get some money back and that kind of thing. I have to be honest, I haven't used the search the way they wanted us to, because I don't understand the model. I don't understand how this company of yours works, and I thought, since I've got you right here in front of me, maybe you could explain it, and maybe other people will pick up on it.
I can, and then you better start using it when we get off here. So Good Search was founded to empower people to turn their everyday actions into ways to support their favorite cause. So the thinking behind it is, we all have a cause we care about. It might be your child's school, it might be finding a cure for cancer, saving the environment, whatever it is. Unfortunately, the reality is most of us don't have enough money or enough time to support that cause every single day. And so we wanted to make doing good easy. So we started out with search in 2005, and the idea behind it is that the search is powered by Yahoo. You go to Good Search, you pick your favorite cause, whatever it is, and then every time you do a search, about a penny is raised for that cause. The money comes from advertisers. You were asking about the model. So the money comes from advertisers. Then a couple of years after, we added Good Shop. So we partnered with 2,800 stores we're up to now, anywhere from Amazon to Zazzle. That's what I say, anywhere you normally shop. And you click through from goodshop.com to that store, shop as you normally would, pay nothing extra, and a percentage of what you spend goes back to your cause at no cost to you. And as a matter of fact, you could save money because we offer more than 100,000 coupons and deals on the site too. And so there, the money comes from the retailers, from our partner.
Okay, so good search, it comes from advertising, and good shop, it comes from the partner.
Yeah, but we've raised about nearly $10 million so far for the causes on our site.
Now, the hardest thing, it seems to me, is to get people to change their search habit, which...
Yes, habit breaking is definitely difficult. So we have something on the site called the Good app. There's a link to it on the very bottom of the site. And basically what that is sort of a toolbar that is persistent on your browser. And so there's the search box right there at the top. And then it also works with your browser. So you don't have to go through Good Shop to the store. If you automatically just type in Sephora.com, then the toolbar lights up, says, this is the donation, here are all the coupons. So you actually don't need to change any habits if you just take the 2 minutes it takes to download that Good app.
For people who might know this site or app, it sounds like Good Shop would be similar to maybe You Promise?
It is similar to You. Yeah, it's sort of in the same vein. Good Search has a patent, so we were sort of the first of its kind in the searching arena, and then we've just grown from there. So we work with about 100,000 nonprofits and schools across the country now.
Okay. All right. I got one more topic I want to ask you about, and then we'll let you get on with your day. And by the way, you want to tell everybody where you're talking to us from?
From our beautiful office here. I'm here at MSNBC in our newsroom.
Cool. I just wanted to let people know that.
Why there's a fluorescent light back there.
Well, yeah. Only the finest in lighting. So yesterday, and we're talking mid-November, yesterday there was a big story in the New York Times, I'm sure you saw it, about MSNBC and talking about, and I'm not going to put you on the spot here, but talking about possible changes in the lineup, moving someone who's a weekend person to daily. And I thought, when are we going to get more J.J. Ramberg on the channel? That's what I want to know.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I will pass that along to people. We've, the show is really, we've been on for almost 7 years now, and our time slot really has attracted a loyal audience. I think there was nothing out there on television before for small business owners. It was really an unserved audience. And so we're really proud of what we do here, even though for many people in the country it's very early in the morning.
Well, you can record it.
Yes, DVRs.
Use that DVR. All right. Well, folks, listen. You can find It's Your Business, 183 Essential Tips That Will Transform Your Small Business by J.J. Ramberg with Lisa Everson and Frank Silverstein in great bookstores everywhere, or you can order it right now at a great price at MrMedia.com. And there's probably, if you look down on the screen under our picture here, there's probably an image of the book. You can just click on it and buy it right then and there. I'm assuming that, and we were just talking about, your business is on Sunday mornings on MSNBC at what time?
7:30 Eastern.
7:30. All right. And goodsearch.com is goodsearch.com. Is there a website for the show that you want to give out?
It's openforum.com/yourbusiness.
Very good. And can people find you on Twitter, Facebook, things like that?
At JJ Ramberg.
Very good. JJ, it was delightful to talk to you today. I meant what I said about the book, and I do a lot of business interviews on the show for people who have business books. But for a small business person who doesn't have the time, or maybe it's just not interested in reading books, this is a really good source to just go get the information you need and turn it into action immediately. So good job on that.
Thank you so much, and thanks a lot for having me on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You can see and hear almost 1,000 Mr. Media interviews by visiting our main site, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Or check out the more than 200 video interviews on the Mr. Media radio site on YouTube. And I'd sure appreciate if you'd show some love for Mr. Media's advertisers, including Stitcher. Apple named Stitcher a top 5 news app of 2011. It's a free mobile app for your smartphone or tablet that lets you listen to your favorite shows and discover the best of news, entertainment, and sports on demand. You can listen whenever you want to more than 5,000 shows, get customized recommendations, and discover what your friends are listening to. My own list of Stitcher favorites is pretty eclectic. I start my day with an hour of MSNBC's Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. Then it's the latest 2-minute update from the Onion News Network. After that, I'll listen to WTF with Mark Maron, Here's the Thing with Alec Baldwin, HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, and excerpts from E's Chelsea Lately and The Soup with Joel McHale. Also in regular rotation on my Stitcher playlist, the BS Report with ESPN's Bill Simmons, the TechCrunch Headlines, and the Don Geronimo Show. The latest episodes of each show, whether originating from broadcasts, cable TV, radio syndication, or podcasts, are continuously updated. Stitcher is a free app for your iPhone, iPad, Kindle, Fire, BlackBerry, Droid, and more. And show your support of Mr. Media by getting, did I mention it's free? The app at Stitcher.com/MrMedia. That's Stitcher.com/MRMedia. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio. We're also supported by Audible. Check out Audible's 30-day trial membership and download the audiobook version of the book everyone's been talking about, 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Sign up for your free trial today at audible.com/radio. Again, audibletrial.com/radio. And finally, if you need a disc jockey for a wedding, bar mitzvah, corporate event, or just a big old party, please consider calling 1-800-DIAL-DJs, the party authority for all your party entertainment needs. You can call 1-800-DIAL-DJs or go to their website, 1-800-DIAL-DJs.com, and tell them Mr. Media sent you. And thanks for listening.